Italian mob, later infiltrating life in major cities like Chicago and New York.
Trouble with the feds as the reputed head of the crime commission and the godfather of the Gambino family.
Extortion, drug and arms trafficking, contract killings, and political bribery.
Italy's dark underbelly, the Mafia, have generated approximately $20 billion in revenue from extortion, kidnappings, drugs, prostitution, and more during their generations-long existence. What many people don't realize, however, is that most of this income has been earned by three particular family groups whose names bring dread in not just Italy, but in many countries around the world where their tentacles have reached. When you hear the word Mafia, it evokes thoughts of organized crime, secrecy, and power struggles. With its roots in Italy, the Mafia's influence can be traced back over literally decades. What outsiders might not understand, however, is that the word Mafia does not refer to one cohesive organization. Rather, there are many Mafia groups or families in Italy, with three in particular known as the most terrifying, threatening, and powerful. Each of these three families are organized criminal businesses that operate in a hierarchical structure and use intimidation, brutality, and corruption to maintain control. All three are linked to illegal operations such as drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering. And all three have long histories of being part of the Italian landscape ever since the 19th century. Tune in to discover the dark secrets of Italy's three most powerful Mafia families, including who they are, how they started, and what they do. Sicilian Mafia, Cosa Nostra. One of Italy's most infamous and powerful Mafia families is the Sicilian Mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra. This covert and hierarchical criminal organization has a long and illustrious history that is deeply ingrained in Sicilian culture. Let's take a look at the origin, structure, and impact of the Cosa Nostra that is so powerful. The Sicilian Mafia began in the 19th century as a response to the social and economic difficulties that the people were facing. The Mafia positioned itself as a source of order and protection for the people during a time of widespread poverty and limited opportunities. However, the organization soon turned to criminal activities to gain power and wealth. Cosa Nostra is based on a strict hierarchical structure with a chain of command that looks like a pyramid. The Capo di tutti I capi, also known as the boss of bosses, is at the top. The capo regimes below the boss are in charge of a group of soldiers or soldati who carry out the Mafia's criminal activities. Loyalty, discipline, and a clear hierarchy within the organization are all guaranteed as a result of having this structure. Omerta, the Cosa Nostra's code of conduct, places a strong emphasis on allegiance, silence, and complete adherence to the Mafia's regulations. Shockingly, the penalty for breaking these laws can be severe, even fatal. Due to such a strict code of conduct, it has been difficult for authorities to dismantle the organization. The Omerta ethos has long made it impossible for witnesses to cooperate with law enforcement. Cosa Nostra's criminal activities are diverse and include drug trafficking, extortion, loan sharking, racketeering, and illegal gambling. The Mafia has tightened its grip on Sicilian society and the economy by gaining access to legitimate businesses and influencing political decisions in the area. They are able to influence public contracts, construction projects, and even elections thanks to this power. If your knowledge of the Mafia is from watching movies, it's due to the Sicilian Mafia. This family was well known in the United States and served as the basis for the Godfather movies. As well, Dapper John Gotti, the head of the Gambino crime family, was one of its well-known members of the American branch. Almost all Hollywood movies of the Mafia genre are inspired by The Godfather, and by default, Cosa Nostra. The Godfather series made flashy cars, designer clothes, bloodthirsty behavior, and unfailing loyalty to the Don the accepted characteristics of a Mafia member. Over the years, there have been several enforcement actions and crackdowns aimed at the Sicilian Mafia. Its ability to adapt and survive, nevertheless, is impressive. Despite the arrest of senior members and the adoption of harsher anti-Mafia legislation, Cosa Nostra still exists, albeit more secretly. The Naples Mafia, Camorra. The Camorra, a powerful Naples-based Mafia family, is one of Italy's most notorious criminal organizations. The Camorra is a formidable force, known for its brutality and wide-ranging criminal activities. Its roots are deeply ingrained in the history and society of the city. The Camorra, which the Italian government considers to be the most dangerous criminal organization in Italy, is regrettably well known for its excessive violence. Drug trafficking, racketeering, counterfeiting, and money laundering are among the main illegal operations carried out by the Camorra. the Camorra also commonly infiltrates the political system in the areas where it operates. By developing tight relationships with South American drug gangs starting in the 1980s, this mafia family has increased its operations outside of Italy, particularly reaching into Spain. Thanks to developing these links, the Camorra is able to distribute drugs into Europe. In contrast to the hierarchical structure of the Sicilian Mafia, the Camorra operates with a more decentralized and horizontal organization. As a result, individual Camorra clans act independently and are prone to internal feuds. However, this structure also allows the Camorra to adapt and survive even when its top leaders are apprehended or eliminated. A never-ending cycle of criminal activity is created when old clans and organizations break up and form new ones. Campagna can get worse because you could cut into a Camorra group, but another 10 could emerge from it, a clan leader Pasquale Galasso once stated in court. Even though the Camorra was founded in Campania, it has since spread to other parts of Italy and established connections with centers of economic power in places like Lombardy, Piedmont, Lazio, and Emilia-Romagna. The Camorra's dynamics have changed over the past few years. Through arrests and prosecutions, many of the older clans and leaders have been dismantled. Youth criminal gangs have emerged as a result, seeking to fill the power vacuum. These groups, which go by the name Paranza, are led by young people who post pictures of their illegal activities and high-end designer clothes and other luxury items on social media. The Calabrian Mafia, 'Ndrangheta. The Calabrian Mafia, which is also known as the 'Ndrangheta, is a large organized crime mafia based in Calabria, Italy. It dates back to the 18th century and has established itself as the world's most powerful criminal organization. Due to massive emigration from Calabria, the 'Ndrangheta has expanded globally since the 1950s. Its structure is defined by independent groups known as indrine, who are created mostly through familial relationships. The 'Ndrangheta's main business is drug trafficking, particularly in Europe, where it has a near monopoly. It also engages in illegal activities such as drug trafficking, money laundering, racketeering, extortion, loan sharking, and prostitution. The 'Ndrangheta have developed strong ties with major South American drug cartels, which regard it as their most reliable European partner. Membership in the 'Ndrangheta is inextricably linked to blood familial relationships. The indrine is often made up of men from the same family bloodline. According to Salvatore Buemi, an anti-mafia prosecutor, one becomes a member merely by being born into a mafia family. However, other factors may entice people to join. Marriages play an important function in cementing bonds and boosting membership within each clan, or as they may call it, indrina. As a result, a few blood families dominate each group, resulting in many people with the same last name being punished for belonging to a specific indrina. Bosses aim to maximize their descendants because there is no limit to the size of a single unit. This mafia is recognized as one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the world by Italian law enforcement authorities such as the Direzione Investigativa Antimafia, DIA, and Guardia di Finanza. The 'Ndrangheta's commercial activities include the worldwide smuggling of cocaine and guns. One thing that the Italian police are sure about is that the 'Ndrangheta controls the Calabrian port of Gioia Tauro, where almost 80% of Europe's cocaine flows. The 'Ndrangheta has spread its influence over the world, mostly through migration. The merging of family ties and mafia affiliation has aided the 'Ndrangheta's spread beyond its native region. The familial link protects secrets, improves security, and aids in the preservation of the organization's identity in both its original and relocated territory. Indrine have been identified in northern Italy, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, France, various parts of Europe, the United States, Canada, and Australia. A group of 'Ndrangheta members was discovered in Ontario, Canada several decades ago, and they were known as the Saderno Group because the majority of its members were from Saderno and its surrounding areas. The 'Ndrangheta's grip over drug trafficking, notably cocaine, has had a considerable impact on Europe. Their prominence in the criminal underworld, as well as their capacity to form partnerships with international drug cartels, has given them enormous power and influence. International law enforcement authorities continue to work together to dismantle the 'Ndrangheta's operations and disrupt their illicit activities. Here's an even more shocking fact. According to the FBI, Cosa Nostra and the three other major Italian mafia groups, the Camorra, the 'Ndrangheta, and the Sacra Corona Unita, currently have approximately 25,000 members and 250,000 affiliates worldwide. While the Sicilian Mafia, the Naples Mafia, and the Calabrian Mafia may be different in how they operate, there are a few things that are certainly common in all three. They are secretive, they are rich, they are powerful, and they are up to no good.